South African television and film industry Q&A. Let's go. I'm so grateful to each and every single person that sent through questions, that responded to that sticker tag. And I got so many questions to get through, 30 to be precise. So I'm going to jump right into it. If you are here for the very first time, my name is Dineo Rasidile and I am a South African television and film actress. And on this channel, I share my journey and experience in the television and film industry and also share some tips and advice on how you can navigate your own journey. So today I am going to quickly rapid fire answer these questions. Please remember that my answers are based on my own journey in the television and film industry, and they are not to be taken as the blueprint, the gospel, it's literally based on my own experience being in the industry for over a decade and just trying to share with people. And then also, since I will be trying to be as concise as possible with every single answer, if there is a certain question that I answer and you feel like, hold up, I feel like you could flesh that out even more and you'd like me to do a separate video on that topic alone, I'd like to encourage you to please head on to the comment section and request for your video, and I'll be more than happy to do so. So without further ado, let's get straight into these questions. What has been your most challenging role to date? This is a very difficult question for me to answer, but to be a sport, because every single character is challenging in its own way. But if I had to choose one, I would definitely go with Gugumaba. So on Law, Love and Betrayal, and the reason for that would be that it was my first adult role on screen, and I literally shot that 4 months after shooting Blood Legacy, which was a 17-year-old character. So definitely would choose Gugumabas. Do the nerves ever go away? No, but yes. I think just that excitement, that bubbling, that little scaredness, nyana, it's always there, but you just learn how to channel that energy into the right places. Yeah. Any agency recommendations? Anytime somebody asks me for agency recommendations, I always direct them to the PMA website. And this is basically like an organization where agencies have come together and kind of put together a framework and sort of parameters, guidelines that agencies should operate under. So basically making sure that agencies do not charge artists ridiculous amounts of commission, that the agencies are going to fight for certain standard career, production conditions and so on and so forth. So when you're in an agency that is part of the PMA, you know that there are certain conditions that you're guaranteed to receive from your agent. So I think it's a good place to start and it's a safe place to start. So head on to the PMA website and yeah. Are acting classes necessary? Short answer from me will always be yes. The reason for that is with every single thing that you do, doesn't matter what industry, what line of work that you do, there's a certain level of knowledge, a certain level of skill, a certain level of understanding that you need to bring to the job. And I believe that the same thing applies with acting. So what an acting class, what a workshop, what training, what coaching will do for you is that it prepares you. It helps you to hone your skill, because now we're on set and then there's certain jargon that's been thrown around. There's certain language that's been thrown around. You've never set foot in an acting class. So now they're saying, okay, we're going to do the blocking right now. Blocking. Then the director says to you, sorry, can you please find your light? Can you feel your light where you're standing? You don't know what the hell they're talking about. They tell you, please don't mask the guy behind you. You don't know what that means. So take an acting class. It does not have to be like formal university, whatever, but there's acting classes, there's workshops, there's, seminars, master classes, all of these things. Keep you on your ground. And I think that it will do you very good to like follow relevant people as well on social media. Don't like people like just celebrities, but like follow, what do you call it? Like accounts like Actor Spaces, accounts like Saga, you know, the South African Guild of Actors, accounts like Ungani Ndlovu also restarted something, and I think he calls it the Actors Playground or something like that. But follow those kind of people and just keep your ear to the ground, because it will really like add value to you and your growth. What are the most important things to consider when looking or joining an agency? I guess looking for or joining an agency. Okay, I do have a video up where I speak about agencies and how to approach one and all that kind of stuff. I think it's probably time that I do one again, because this is literally one of my most frequently asked questions. It's actually the reason why I started this channel in the first place. But I think right off the top of my head right now is go open their website. And for me, if you see an agency that has got actors that are actually working, that's a green flag, because there are some agencies where you'll open and you go through their artists and you scroll and scroll and scroll and you don't recognize any of those faces. No disrespect to any of those actors, but you want to know that your agency is actually getting people work, you know. So for me, that's like the number one place that I would always start, is I'd open the agency and then I'll flip through their actors, and if I see, goes, hey, these are people I'm seeing on my screen every day, you know, so this agent is working. That's one. I also like to see a nice mix of seasoned actors as well as new and fresh faces. That's another one. I don't like agencies that have like hundreds and hundreds of actors on their books. For me personally, those are I think going on an agency's website will give you an indication of what you're going to be working with. If they have this old website that they haven't updated in a very long time, for me, those are just red flags. Okay, what common mistakes people make getting in the industry are making? Okay, for me, one big one is definitely just being reckless, jumping in with both feet into the deep end. I think it's one thing to have like a leap of faith is one thing, but being reckless is another. I think one should literally do their research. One should ask the necessary questions, investigate. I always encourage people to be curious and to ask questions and to really like evaluate the situation before you just throw yourself into something that could cost you in the long run. What is a good method to being multidisciplined in TV? For example, an actor, writer, producer. Very good question. I think right now more actors are diversifying. Like back in the day, a person was either just an actor or a presenter or a radio DJ or whatever. Now you're seeing actors like going into more different spaces. You're seeing actors are content creators as well. Actors are MCs, you know, for corporate. They are, you know, doing voiceovers, they're doing all these different things, which I think is very important when you're building a brand, but also not necessary, because we're all in this industry for very different reasons. And you might just want to be an actor and then do other stuff that are not in the industry. But I think a good way to be able to diversify is getting the skill that, you know, helps you to be able to build relationships in the industry and also put yourself out there. Let it be known that you have this amazing skill of writing. Let it be known that you have connections in the industry that would really help you to be a producer. You have connections where you'd be able to get funding, you'd be able to get people to buy into a certain production. You have the skill of cinematography, you know, all these different things. But you need to be able to literally put yourself out there, build relationships, and just step out of your comfort zone. I'll say for me, every single time I've had a conversation with somebody from a different department, even if I was just joking or playing around and saying, hey, how do I be an intern, you know, there at a department? I've never had somebody say to me, no, you can't. Recently, I was speaking to the sound guys and I was like, can I come join sound? You know, when I wrapped this production, they were like, come through, we'll show you the ropes, you know? So I think there's always people who are willing to take people under their wing, who are willing to show, who are willing to intern people. And you just have to like speak up. You just have to say that, you know, I'm interested in screenwriting. I'm interested to see how it works. Where do I start? Go and talk to the head writer. Bring something you've written and say, look, I've written this. What do you think? What should my next move be? So I think that skill is one that you definitely need to like have if you want to diversify. I hope that answered the question. How do payments work for starring in ads? Sure. I haven't done an ad in years. My goodness, the last time I did a television commercial was in the year 2016. It's almost 10 years ago. Aww. Typically, how it would work is they will tell you the rate for the ad that you're going to do. So for example, they say, oh, we're shooting a wimpy ad and we need a lead, and the lead will get paid 15,000 Rand for the day. These are just example numbers. 15,000 Rand for the day, for the shoot day, and then I don't know, 300% usage for 6 months. So you'll know that the ad is going to play for 6 months. This is the amount, and maybe the total of all of that, the day rate and the usage will be, say, for example, I don't know, 40,000 Rand, let's say. Then you will get that money one time. So when people think that every time your ad plays, there's money in the bank every time. Technically, yes, but also no, because they've just calculated all the time that ad is going to be played. So it's going to play for 6 months on these different platforms. Here's the money for that 6 months. And you get paid that whole bulk amount one time when the ad comes out. Then should they decide that they want to renew this ad and play it for another 6 months, then they'll come back and pay you the usage for that time period that they now wanted to play some more on. Okay. How do you analyze your script for an audition, and how do you get in character? Okay, I actually want to do this video separately because I found my audition script for Google Maba Follow Love and Betrayal, and I was like, oh my gosh, still with the notes and the highlights and everything, and I was like, I should actually do a video where I share how I actually, brought Google Maba to life. But typically, I always start with the audition brief. In the brief, they'll always give you little information about the show, about the character. I read every single character's bio, so not just my character's bio, because I've seen that sometimes you can actually mine some extra information from the other characters' bios that you can actually add some spice into your character, little details that they may not have added in your bio. But as I'll read the audition script a couple times through, and then always ask a bajillion questions. So who is this character? What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Because usually on the script, you just have the script. You don't know anything else about the episode in the audition. So you have to make it real for yourself. What's happening in the scene? What is my character doing? Why are they doing what they're doing? What do they want in this scene? And then getting into character as well, you start asking outside questions like, okay, they said this character is a lawyer. How does she carry herself? What kind of clothes does she wear, and why does she choose to wear those clothes? How does her hair look, and why has she made that choice to have her hair looking like that? When she walks in the room, how does she walk into the room? When she's talking to a client, what register of her voice does she use versus when she's talking to her boyfriend? What register of her voice does she use? What was she doing right before the scene, and what energy then will that, it will inform you the energy that you start with at the top of your scene. So definitely want to do a video just on this, need to highlight that. But yeah, basically that's how I get started. How do you prepare for a role? To be quite honest with you, how do I prepare for a role? The very first thing, I pray, and a lot, because when I was going for the audition, I prayed and a lot. So when I booked the role, it's like, okay, cool, you gave me this particular role for a reason. How am I supposed to portray this character? What do you want me to do with this character and just in this production to be in general? And then once again, we go back to the asking of questions. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Basically, all the questions that are asked in the previous answer. And that for me is so much fun, especially when you now enter in pre-production and you get to go to wardrobe fittings and you get to go for makeup tests, and now you get to see her. And then you go back to the questions because now you have a little bit more information. I could go on and on. Definitely doing a video just on this. What is your favorite performance you have ever been in? Shucks. Okay, wow, this is also a very difficult one. Gun to my head, if I had to choose, I would choose Itu Mashaba on Justice Served. And the only reason for that was because I had a lot of firsts in that role. It was my first Netflix production. It was, I mean, I got to do some really cool stuff on that show. Like, I got shot off a car, I was wearing a squib. I was sitting in a fast stunt driven, like a car that was driven by a stunt driver, and we were like zooming in the alleys there in Johannesburg. Like, it was very fun. So I think just because I experienced so many first amazing things in that, forget the star-studded cast that I was working with, but just I think that was the start of me being so bold and brave in terms of my performance and my work. It was like, yeah, man, I'm an actor. How does one sell a commercial script or pitch their script to a company? I have absolutely no idea. I don't have all the answers. But thank you for asking your question. Hopefully somebody who's watching does have the answers. If you do, hoy their answer in the comment section. But this is not really an area that I've had any interest in thus far anyway. It could change in a couple of years, but I really don't know how that side of the industry works. Do you have a theatre background or you went straight to television? I do have a theatre background. I started my training in theatre. I actually did musical theatre and studied that for 3 years. And then, I got to do some pretty cool productions while studying. Is it necessary to join Saga? I think it's necessary to do your own research. I think it's necessary to go to Saga's website and see what they're about. I think it's necessary to open their Instagram page and peruse and stalk them and see whenever they post videos, what are they saying, what is their, main message and what they stand for. Go and attend one of their workshops. Saga has workshops all the time. The ones online tend to be free, and I've attended quite a few of them, and they have given a lot of value. And the ones that are in person usually are like 200 Rand, and then they're free if you are a Saga member. But yeah, go and see for yourself. I think it's very important in this industry to make informed decisions and to not just do something because somebody told you that it is. But I will say that I have gotten some value in the things that Saga does present. Do actors get rehearsals before they start shooting? There are some productions that I have worked on where we did have like rehearsals, but not like you would in theater, because in theater you would spend like time rehearsing because it's a whole different medium. But there are some productions that will give you like screen tests before, and you do some of the scenes that are actually in the season. I have had productions where we've had workshops and we literally work with the director and the people that you'd be playing mostly with in the show. But what does happen when you get on set is that you will do, if you watch my last video, the vlog that I posted of me on set, you'll run lines with your partner. And basically what that means is you go through the scene with your scene partner and bounce the lines off to make sure everybody's saying what they need to be saying, and then you can discuss how y'all want to play it, and then you also run the lines with the director, the continuity. But it's not like enough to say that it's a rehearsal. You always have to be doing the work yourself. On South African television, you can book today and be on set like by Thursday or by tomorrow sometimes even. So you have to literally learn the skill to do the work yourself, like to learn your script quickly and get into the meat of your script quickly, because it's so fast paced and just done in such a very quick way. What are some of the disadvantages of the industry? Ooh, child. I would say first and foremost the financial aspect of it. So because we get paid when we work and we are basically freelance, you could literally do a job and get paid, let's say 60,000 Rand after tax, and then you think you're balling and then you don't work for another 3-4 months. So that 60K that you made must last you for that 3-4 months, especially if you don't have other things outside of acting going on. So I think that aspect of freelancer can be very frustrating for some, depending on how your life is set up and how your finances are set up.